Now, it sounds a bit odd to talk about a balance sheet out of balance, but it's been known to happen. Remember, one of the main purposes of the balance sheet is to show that everything's okay in your books. The balance sheet is out of balance. It could be problems, but it could be just simply a wrong type of setting in a report. The first aspect that I'd like you to do in the balance sheet is number one, check your dates, and number two, go to Modify Reports under your filters and make sure you do not have a filter setting. Very often what I will find is that when I go into the filter, we have a filter set for a particular department or division. Be careful that that filter is not turned on. If it is, that could give you an out of balance situation. Another aspect that I'll find with the balance sheet is that we do have that corrupted entry that we talked about in our verification. In this particular case, the first thing to do is to actually go into your utilities and rebuild that data. Now remember, when we talked about rebuilding, it will tell you exactly where that error is in the WinLog report, of course, and you can look up the entry. Now sometimes also we will toggle our balance sheet between cash and accrual. Notice how mine says an accrual basis right now. Now if you're toggling, what you do is you go to Edit and down to Preferences. Under Preferences, you will find under Reports and Graphs for the company preferences that you can change your summary reports from accrual to cash. When you do this, occasionally they just get confused. Very often if I switch to a cash basis and I say OK, I'll find that the numbers don't come out correctly. Noticed a second ago I switched to cash, but I'm still in the accrual basis. What I need to do is make sure that I refresh. Now I refreshed and this report is still only coming up as an accrual. Next, I'll try to close out, go back into my balance sheet. If it's not switching to accrual, something's kind of hanging up in there. I will first make sure that I did everything correctly, so I'll go to Edit, go down to Preferences, Reports and Graphs, Company Preferences, and I'll see that yes indeed it is set to cash. Now if it is not changing after I refresh it and I look at it twice, that'll let me know that perhaps something's going a little wrong in this report. Here's where the next step that I will do is actually go into my utilities for the verification and I'll verify the corruption. Now remember, both verification and rebuild take a few moments, so I'm not going to actually run that in this video. If I have found that it is coming up with an error, I'll go in and I'll try to correct it. If not, I'm just going to proceed through each of the steps on the following movies to get a feel for what's going on. Keep in mind again that your balance sheet could have the wrong filters set, or it could not have cleared correctly between cash and accrual. Those are the two most common reasons that balance sheet is out of balance. The third being the actual corruption of data, in which case I will need to rebuild that company data.